This week, Trash and Talk, solo edition. I'll get into where Kurt's at in the episode. But this week, I'm just going to dive into a little bit of, the way the world looks at trash and the people who collect it. Let's get into it. Let's talk trash.
We got the trash. We got the trash. Yeah, we got the trash. We got the trash. Our trash is your treasure. We got the trash. We got the trash. The raccoon kings are your treasure. So listen to our trash. So listen to our trash.
Welcome back, Trash and Talk, Episode 5, Season 2. I'm Wayne. Unfortunately, Kurt's not here with me today. He's good, people. Relax. He had a little bit of a situation he had to take care of, but he's going to live, and we're good, and we're just going through some rough times right now, the two of us, but we're making it out, and... well, we're not making out, but we're gonna both make out in what we have going on, and we're gonna be all right. But I figured I'd do a little solo setup, get out here, let everybody know, Wayne and Kurt are all right, and Trash and Talk ain't going nowhere. But I just wanted to dive into, it just hit me these last few weeks that I've been here, sitting around my house, not doing much since my heart surgery, and the way I felt as a trash collector, the way people looked at me, and just people I know on the job still, and the headaches they still go through, and the bullshit they still go through. Let's be honest. People always look down on the people who collect trash. They think they're below them, and they just don't. They don't take into, just the common courtesy and the respect of a guy or a woman just trying to do a job. You sign up for a job. It's all we're here for, people. You live, you work, you die. That's it. It's all we got. And it just gets frustrating sometimes because it's like, you're just trying to do a service for your community for the most part. Most of these people work in their communities. They're trying to do right by people, their neighbors, their families, their friends. And a lot of times it gets shit on. I hate to say it. And then, it just hit me sitting around one day. I just started jotting all this stuff down because, there were a lot of things that I remember doing personally on the job where I took pride in it. I took, a pride where... whether storms came through or just anything to help the community, whatever we had to do, we were there. And, we all didn't see our families. We didn't, get to go hang out with our friends. We missed birthdays. We missed weddings. And, it's part of the job. You sign up, you do the job, and then hopefully you retire. Most people don't realize the amount of things that the job did. A lot of people just thought you were garbage man, garbage woman. That's all there was on the job, and which is bullshit. Like, there's so much more to New York City Sanitation and other states and other companies, like what they do to help, the community, like I said. But there were so many other entities to the city of New York, which me and Kurt worked on. What we did. From your basic trash collectors, from your street cleaners, from your street sweepers, from your guy that was just doing the corner baskets. The corner baskets alone, people. Let me explain something to you. You may work in New York City and you pass these corner baskets every fucking day. And they're filled to the brim. They're gross. They got people's nasty food, half-eaten food. And in that note, I actually saw once or twice people eat out of these garbage pails. You know, Kurt had said something earlier in the podcast about that. Somebody from work actually doing it, a sanitation worker. But yeah, it's those pails get picked up by pretty much the same guys every night, 12 to 8. They're working 12 midnight till, listen, they didn't work 12 to 8. They work until like 5:30, 6 in the morning. But running the streets of New York City just to pick up all the corner baskets, and you walk by them every day working in New York City. You pay them no mind. But like that's an entity of the job. Brooms, MLP, motorized litter patrol. We had different names for it, but that was a job. Guys used to push brooms. When you had messed up streets where they had extra guys, they were putting them on. You would get a hand broom and a shovel and a basket, and you're wheeling it down 14th Street in Manhattan. That shit sucked. But you were helping the community in an aspect. You were doing a job to make you were thinking New York City look better, and which it did. But there were a lot of entities. You had all those things. Then you had your bigger aspects of it. We cleaned up schools. We took the garbage from schools. You got into storms. When hurricanes came through, when tornadoes came through, floods, you would get areas that would get really bad storms. And we would come through and pick this stuff up. We've spoken about like Hurricane Sandy, and that was the big one. But Irene, and all these bitches came through fucking twisting and turning. But we were there. And it sucks. I remember my wife was pregnant in Hurricane Sandy, and I told my boss, I said, I'm not fucking coming to work because I'm not going to leave my wife pregnant with the rest of her family, because for some reason there's people in this world that think if you lose electric, you lose gas, so you won't have hot water. But real quick, people, I'm just going to let y'all know, if you lose electric, you could still take a hot shower. Unless you have instant hot water, which is totally different, then you're above me anyway. Then yes, you could look down on me, because if you have instant hot water, you're up here. I'm still in the middle. But, the whole fam was there, and I said, fuck this. I'm not leaving my wife pregnant, while I'm hanging out, fucking waiting for tree branches to fall. That's pretty much what it came down to. But no, we did that stuff. Sandy was a big one. We were there. You would do your route, and I think we spoke about this, but you would do your route, then you would go and, put the rest of the 8 hours, you would work and help people that lost everything. I'm talking everything these people own were on their front lawns. It was a shitty situation in New York, but it was only certain areas. And it was just pretty much all the city got together and helped these areas. But it's the community, it's family. Maybe it wasn't my family members, which in turn then, I did have some people I knew. I had some cousins that, had houses there, and I helped them in other situations. I still think he broke my generator, but that's all right, Jared, I'll get it back. But, it's somebody else's family that's probably on the job that we're helping. Staten Island especially was such a small knit community that the person you're helping, whether it was an elderly person or just the smallest thing you were doing for someone, was probably related somehow to someone on the job. And that's the way I personally always looked at it. Did I have bad days? Of course, everybody does. You get into situations where people got bad attitudes, You want to hit the fucking snooze button all morning, that's on you. We'll talk about that, because that's the worst. That's what's killing America, the snooze button, people. The snooze button should be dismantled from every phone, alarm clock, if you still have one like I do. It should be just taken away. Because that 9 minutes, you could ruin someone's life in 9 minutes. Because you're late, and now you're pissing somebody off up their ass because you're late, and they're just taking their time like a normal person driving. But it happens. Plenty of times I had people up my ass. I'm late for school. Well, you should have fucking woke up earlier. That's not on me. I'm just doing my job. But that's what it comes down to. People get into situations where they're having a bad day. Now they make your day shitty. And then it's just twofold. And it just keeps going and going. But yeah, we did all those cleanups. And then it came to the snow. You know, it's hard to explain the snow aspect of the job. You're married to it. There's no way around it. There's nothing you could do. There were guys that got away from it, but it just didn't make any sense. You know, you made really good money. We used to call it white gold. It was great, but you put your time in. There were many, like I said, I missed a wedding. Not that, you know, I still enjoy the people, but I would have went if it was my family's wedding. Just saying. But, you know, you miss birthdays, you miss gatherings that, you know, now you look back and you're like, fuck, I wish I would have did that. I wish I would have just said, fuck this job. But it was part of the job. The snow aspect was crazy because you never knew. You had no control. And the people who had control, they kind of, there was just their say was what it was. And listen, they got big money for what they did. And, you know, they were on the job for, you know, most of them when I was still on, they were on a job for a good amount of years. They did it for a good amount of years. So I trusted that, hey, listen, there's 30 inches coming. We got to do 12-hour shifts for 14 days, whatever it was. But then, you get 3 inches, and now we still got to spend a budget, so we're still stuck, you know, at work for 14 days, which those were the killer times. Missing the family. You know, it ruined a lot of families. It were hard times. The snow really put pressure on you and really tested people. Because there were many days and nights that you wouldn't sleep, and whether you would work, go hang out, barely sleep, come back work, but after 7 days you were shot. It was a disaster. But the snow was definitely one of the harder ends of it. 9/11 was tough. Even though we didn't do most of the hands-on work until later on, it was much more of the community then. You know, it hit people different ways. And I think this is why I think I'm talking about this mostly, because this world's just in a shit place right now. And all you hear now, it keeps coming up like 9/11. Remember after 9/11, what everybody was doing. Remember everybody joined in with New York. Everybody got around New York and, you know, and Philly and PA and, you know, and all these areas that were affected. And it was a great time to be a New Yorker. But unfortunately, like anything else, it just gets swept under the rug. Eventually people forget. You got kids now that don't even know about it. You know, we tell our kids because we want them to know about it. I want them to watch and see what happened that day and not forget it. But, you know, that time was special for New York in itself. And I think we do need to get back to that. I think we do need to realize that a garbage man outside, you know, the truck's loud, you know. It's not him, it's his job. Relax. The guy's doing his job. You're probably not so quiet when you're doing your job. You know, some people are loud and obnoxious at their office. People deal with it, right? The trucks are loud. You deal with it. But yeah, that's that's just what I really wanted to get onto, where, you know, we just need to like really get back to enjoying each other. And it's just turned into a really shitty society right now. And I think it has to come back, you know, twofold, to really enjoy your neighbors. Don't look down on people. Like, that's the biggest thing that I wanted to get into, is like the way people look down on, you know, sanitation workers. We're not the flashy trucks. We're not, you know, the exciting things pulling up to situations. We're just trying to get the job done. And yes, a lot of times guys, you know, they're quick. They run in, get your garbage, and they get the fuck out. But, you know, it's not that they don't want to talk to you. It's just that normally people don't want to talk to us. It would change real quick if you just went out and said good morning to the guys and said thank you and that kind of thing, where it'd be like, you know, just it would just change their whole outlook on everything, compared to no one comes out of the house, which I dealt with for 20 years. You know, I had my people that I spoke to, but it's a different situation where you knew I was going to see so-and-so because they always come out. I had the kids that would always come out. I had the, you know, the grandmothers that would always, whoever it was. There were people that were happy to see you because they had a good communication with you. That's all you ask for, is just communication. You know, there's things that are, you know, go on where, yeah, I just don't personally get it. I don't look down on people. I don't know how people do, but it's just part of the life, and I guess just the way people are. They're modeled a certain way. It's what they were taught, and now they just pass it on to the next one. And I think that's got to be something that should be straightened out within us all. We all have work to do. We all have to help each other somehow, some way, to get onto a better path. And that's pretty much where I'm going with this. I wanted to mention two things because two guys that, you know, I know what I went through when I just had my heart surgery. We lost two guys from New York City Sanitation, Michael Biuso and Nelvern Samuel. Same day, two guys just dropped. And, you know, going, like I said, through what I went through, and, you know, I had guys like that happen to guys on the job. And, you know, you just think in your time while you're working, you know, hey, I'll just go to 25 and then I'll retire. I'll do this and then I'll retire. And then you don't. Like, these things happen. Many guys I saw, you know, get sick or just drop. And unfortunately now their families are out. And it just doesn't get the recognition, you know, that I'm not even saying that some other jobs get. I don't even care about that. These are human beings, you know, that now the city lost, New York City lost, you know, families lost, friends lost. And there's just such a, and we used to say it on the job, there's a saying we used to say, you know, you're just a number. And it was true. You know, you get on, you know, to the job, you get a list number. You have a date and a list number. That's all you are. And something happens, next man up. They'll just hire someone new. You know, the city gives you, you know, your family, you know, they give your family 2 years pay or whatever it is, and that's it. And then it's a wrap, which is shitty. And it's just something that, you know, I've been looking to try to get out because I know these guys passed away. We've been going through some stuff here with me and Kurt. So we just haven't been able to bring their names up. But I do want to, you know, send my regards and my, you know, sincere condolences to their families, because I just think it's a shitty situation. But yeah, like I said, I'm just doing this solo setup just to get people to know that, we're still here. We'll be back. We got a little time left on our recoveries, and we'll be back soon. Me and Kurt. Hopefully, I hope Kurt's feeling a little better. I feel great, but hopefully Kurt's feeling a little better, and hopefully we'll be back at it soon. Remember, like I always say, be nice to people. You never know what somebody's going through. Peace out, people. Later.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get a load of this. Blah, blah.